2010 when I graduated from engineering with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and I got a placement in the campus itself. I started off as a software developer in Intergraph. Intergraph Consulting, that was a software service provider for oil and gas. So I learned a lot over a course of years that I worked with Intergraph, and then I moved to another company called Aviva, which is the immediate rival in the market for Intergraph. So I moved there, and I spent about 8 years or so working with these both companies, and I learned a lot about. Basically, I grew as a good software developer in these companies. These two companies played an active role in grooming me. It's all basically a learning curve that I grew up in a challenging environment all my life. So I was aiming for Amazon, and I was aiming for Amazon a lot, not Microsoft. I was targeting Amazon, and I failed till date. I failed 9 or 10. I either used to fumble in the interview or end up with a solution after the interview time is over. Like I used to think a lot, and after the interview is done, it used to spark. I grew up in a typical middle class family. My dad is a lecturer in geology, and my mom is a homemaker. So, like I said, 2018 was my first stint at Amazon interview, and I failed miserably. I was given a problem. I still remember it. There's a matrix with all ones and zeros. So it is basically depth first search or even a breadth first search. But that was the problem given, and I was not able to even figure out what kind of problem it was. I learned one by one. Like every interview was a learning experience. Every failure was a learning experience. Two main problems that were pulling me back. One, speed, definitely pace. Second thing was categorizing the problem. I think in 2020 sometime, early 2020, IK's recommendation popped up on LinkedIn. So I just clicked the link and read about it, understood. I spoke with one of the, I would just call him executive on the marketing side. So he called me and he briefed me how the program actually works and all that, and then I signed up for it. Talking to FTs came later, but early in the stages when I was applying, I was in the same bucket. I didn't know how an interview would go. Like I was under the assumption that they would look at my resume, they would ask me questions on .NET because I'm applying for an engineer position. But this thing is like completely new. I never knew that I would be given a data structures problem. The first interview made me aware that this is how it's going to be. I wasn't giving up on failures. Like I expressed, right? Like I failed 10 times before landing in this position. So someone even said that it's all luck that you'll end up with a problem. Different views, different perspectives, different approaches, but there wasn't a pragmatic approach towards it. So that wasn't given to me as a formula. Like I said, after I found IK on LinkedIn, that is where I found the pragmatic approach, like a formulated way to approach towards interviews. Like I didn't like to answer the question. I didn't find it any difficult. Only thing is pulling out time for for what the course actually demands. Like it is very demanding. It at least expect 15 hours of effort apart from the classes on the weekend. So I mean, initially for beginners like who doesn't understand what data structures is. I'm talking about level 0 ballpark estimate. It'll at least demand 15 hours of effort outside your weekend classes and anything else that you're actively working on or studying or all that. You should approach with an open mind to understand what the faculty is teaching you. So they give you the training videos and the lectures, they give you a template to understand and tackle these problems. I didn't know that you could actually categorize the problems. So again, the whole concept is a tree. So you'll have to fundamentally identify the first level, whether it falls on an array problem or a tree structure problem or a DPP or something or a graph or a map or something like that. It is just that you have to approach the learnings in a conceptual way like that. And you have to practice categorizing the problems first instead of arriving at the solution. So the first step to success is successfully identifying a problem category. After that, and I'm saying it the way I approached it. I practiced identifying the problem first, and then I worked on the pace. Like I used to take 10 to 15 minutes initially. Now I started, I'm at a situation where in 2 to 3 minutes, I'll identify what category it falls. After that is using the template that IK has shared. Like if you stick to that, you would be able to arrive at the solution faster. So memorizing these templates, another thing. After that, coding for it. So with these 3 or 4 steps that you have, I think you will be able to solve the problem. Most of the problems under 40 or 45 minutes. The material that was shared teaches us the pragmatic way and a formulated way towards approaching the solutions. Two reasons, I think most of them would have shared the common idea. One is the brand, 2 is the money. The brand and reputation that you get by associating yourself with a company like Microsoft or Amazon or Apple or Google is different than any other tier 2 company. Your social profile, your LinkedIn profile, your personal profile is enriched with that experience. And I had another goal as well. Like I wanted to do an MBA, so working with from a reputed college, of course. So now I'm an MBA. No, I wouldn't say graduate, but I'm still undergoing an MBA program with the Chicago booth, and it's like consistently in the top 3 ranks in the world for MBA program. So to get into schools like that, you also should have a solid profile. So it was important for me in that aspect. Second thing, obviously the money. Nobody would pay you $200K for a software engineer role outside Faang Plus. The first few interviews, like the first one with the Amazon or second or third interviews, when I failed it, the ground behind my feet didn't shake, the world didn't fall apart. I knew I will fail. So that is the attitude I went with it to the interview. So I failed. I understood the pattern. I went there to understand how the interview looks like, at least the first one. The second one was like, okay, I am not still there. I still have to put in more effort. So every time for the second and third, I think fifth or sixth is the time where I felt little depressed, like what's happening? Why am I getting? Every time I go with 100 problems in my bag, and I end up with the 101st problem that I haven't seen. So this is happening. So I started looking into myself in those aspects, like what am I doing fundamentally wrong? What should I do to course correct myself? IK gave me the textbook approach towards data structure. They gave me the knowledge of what data structures are, how to use them. I never had experience designing large-scale systems. IK was the first learning for me to design a microservices using microservices architecture and proposing an umbrella architecture and then zooming in. So this is like doing engineering in a fast-forward way, I would say. I have two-folded advice if it is for IK, beginners at IK or beginners somewhere else. So if it is, I think the first place is to identify yourself. Like everyone is differently equipped. Everyone comes with a different set of knowledge and skills. So identify where you actually fall and what the target role that you are looking for is expecting. So there will be a skill gap. So identify that gap first, and then establish a route to reach that point. That's it. Fundamentally, these are the two things that anyone has to do. What I would recommend that I haven't done is schedule your mock interviews as early as the first 2 weeks to assess what you're lacking, and then use the time. After 2 weeks, you'll be left with 6 weeks of classes. So and then use those 6 weeks wisely to understand and stress more on the concept that you're lacking. Probably someone is very strong at RS but lacks something at graphs or maps is the toughest part for anyone. So and failures are not meant to rate or categorize people into a certain category. So failures are only meant to tell you what you lack from what you are targeting. That's it.